Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Saturday, March 28th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith with you, ready to break down the Saturday NHL card. A massive, massive day in NHL action. We've got 15 games on tap here on this Saturday slate. A bunch of them in the afternoon. We've actually got 8 of the games on the slate today. Afternoon games starting before 6 p.m. Eastern, and 7 of them on the night evening slate. So it is it's basically hockey from 1 p.m. Eastern all the way to late night. So it's a great day for hockey.
You mean the NHL decided to have 15 games and not put 10 of them at 7 p.m. Eastern? That's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. I think well, at least for today, they figured it out. They didn't figure it out this past week where you've got 15 games one night and 2 the next. But nevertheless, we're here. We're a little delayed. I had errands to run. That Saturday morning is really the only chance I get to do errands. So from that standpoint, unfortunately, we were a little delayed. But the nice thing is I don't work for a TV network. I don't have to rush for them. They have to adhere to me. So from that standpoint, that's good. If I'm a few minutes late, the show will go on. And it is. All right, Friday, just quickly on Friday, because we do want to, it was a great Friday for only 2 games, pretty damn good results overall. The only thing that missed was the both teams to score in the first period of the Detroit Buffalo game. But really, other than that, we cashed, and the draw, obviously, we had a piece of that and it didn't hit. But other than that, we had a small piece of the Detroit Buffalo over. We had lots of goal props that cashed. How about a 2-0 bargain bin special of the night sweep for Alex yesterday? Sir Patrick Kane with a little late goal there to put it away for Detroit 5-2 at plus a 333 in the Patrick Kane goal prop. And then, of course, the other one that he had was Mr. Hamilton Bulldog himself, Nick Lardis, scoring the only goal of the game for the Chicago Blackhawks last night. So a 2-0 sweep with Alex for the bargain bin last night. What a win for Detroit. Let's give them some praise. I mean, they were getting beaten up for losing to Ottawa with 5 defensemen out and Ottawa on a back-to-back, and rightfully so. That's a bad loss for Detroit. And they turn around and they have one of their better wins probably of the entire season against the red-hot Buffalo Sabres, 5-2. How about this now? Buffalo, 3 losses in a row for the Sabres team. A little bit of a coming back down to earth, just a little bit. I wouldn't panic. I know Mike Harrington is trying to, the great Sabre scribe, is trying to keep the Sabre fans from going off the ledge. Apparently a couple of them are a little worried about this little 3-game skid. I'm like, calm down. I mean, what's the record still for the last 2 months? It's still been phenomenal.
Understandable.
Yeah.
It's understandable, though.
It is
You've had
though.
such a great run, and now you're looking at you're looking at your calendar, and all of a sudden you're starting to see losses. They have a right to be a little nervous.
Yeah, a little nervous, but they're still leading. Think about the fact that they've lost 3 in a row and they're still leading their division. So, like I said, that's the good news about the little 3-game hiccup that we've seen from Buffalo. But credit to Detroit. That was a big time, ballsy, gutsy step up win for them when they've been scuffling and leaking oil for the last little bit. And it won't get easier. Detroit's back in action with the ABC Saturday night primetime game tonight, Detroit and Philadelphia. So we'll get to that, obviously, in just a bit. And then the other game, there's not much to say other than thank you, New York Rangers, for that 6th goal to put it over the total for both me and Alex last night. We both had the dual best bet on the show, the same best bet, Blackhawks Rangers over. And we got it thanks to that late Ranger goal to make it 6-1. The final score for the New York Rangers over the Chicago Blackhawks. So pretty good night overall for only 2 games, especially Alex. Best bet winner and 2 bargain bin specials. So you can't complain about that for a Friday night.
No, absolutely not. That was fun to see. Like I said, Nick Lardis getting on the board. He actually kind of stole that goal away from Tyler Bertuzzi. If you watch that play in that game, and you see it looked like it was a Bertuzzi goal, and all of a sudden they show replay. Like, no, let's look Nick Lardis in front. So nice to cash that one. One day there will be a day where Arvid Soderblom is no longer a goaltender on the Chicago Blackhawks organization, and that will be a great day. But until then, we just continue to bet over.
Pretty much guaranteed when he plays great one game, it's not going to happen the next game.
No, and here's the thing: let's not just bury him. The defense was bad in front of him as well.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of Hawks fans who are starting to rumble, talking about panicking. We talk about with Buffalo, but Hawks fans are starting to have some issues now with Lashunov, starting to complain a little bit about Alex Vlasic, and it takes me right back to about 20 years ago, where people were complaining about Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook making mistakes as young rookies, younger defensemen coming up. And people were like, maybe we should move these guys. No, absolutely not. I was one of those people who thought that Duncan Keith should have been traded 20 years ago, and I would have looked like a fucking idiot. So no, you just have to give these kids time. They're developing in real time, and the mistakes that most defensemen are making in the AHL, they're making in the NHL in real time. So you get in the they say real work environment, real work on-site training, if you will, with these defensemen, and you're going to have games like that from the Hawks. Now next year, they have to start playing a little bit better. They have to start playing like they're going to be number 1 and number 2 defensemen. But you're going to have clunkers like that. And, to make a Ranger team that was that the most goals the Rangers scored at home all year, I think? It had to be.
That's it. It's got to be up there. It's got to be up there.
It's got to be up there. Yeah. 6 goals. So that's, give their home fans something to cheer about before the year is out, certainly. And like I said, we were lucky enough to get that over there. And like I said, yeah, big win for Detroit. Like I said, Buffalo fans have a right to panic a little bit, but no reason to panic too much because, like you said, you're still leading the division. But they have earned their right to kind of grip the pillows a little bit when watching these games moving forward.
I get that, but come on, you're leading the division still, for Christ's sake. I mean, can't you just calm down a little bit?
I get it.
Mike Harrington saying, here we go again, same old Sabres. I'm like, same old Sabres. They're 19-4-3 or whatever the hell they've been the last 2 months. We got to just cut them a little slack, for crying out loud, for a 3-game losing skid. That's all.
Hawks fans can probably sympathize with Sabre fans the most. Our 2009, 2010 season, coasting through playoff team, but there was never a comfortable moment late in the season or once we got into the playoffs, and that's just how it's gonna be. And you think about past playoff struggles once you get into the playoffs. That is when you're a fan of a team that has been snake bit like they have. Yeah, you're gonna have those. Ian, you rooted for the Sabres as well. You're gonna have those moments where, oh shit, here we go again. Oh shit, here we go again. And thankfully, the exciting part about Buffalo is that they've been able to push through a lot of those moments. There were oh shit moments we thought were going to pop up in January and February. They rolled right through them. Games where we say, oh, maybe this is where the streak comes to an end. This is where they start to struggle. This is where they could have issues out on the road. They bypassed all that. So the fans are still going to be nervous, but as long as the team keeps pushing through those boundaries, that's all that matters.
Yeah, no question. And right now, I would say they're doing a solid job. Like third time they've scored 6 at home. Nashville and Toronto were the others. So there you go. They've done it through Jonathan Davis, right on it, like sharp as attack as usual.
And look at the team. Look at the teams who they scored those against. Hawks and Toronto, 2 of the worst in the league. And Nashville, I think, was playing like crap when that happened. So
yeah, that's true. I think they're still at or near the bottom though, as far as goals for the season at home, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh God, they have to be.
Have to be. So
they shut out 8 times or something this season at home. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah. But still, a 6-goal outburst for the diehard Ranger fans that are still going to these games in the midst of a losing season. They're still the only team that's been officially eliminated from the playoffs as of right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so, Vancouver. Them in Vancouver.
Well. Okay, yeah. Vancouver's the other one. The only one in the East that's been officially eliminated. All right, let's get into Saturday's card. You've been waiting for it. It's a huge card. We got 2 games off the shoot that are at 1 p.m. Eastern, starting with the Florida Panthers and the New York Islanders. We've got the Islanders minus 190, home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this one. This is, for me, I'm high volume. I don't have anything here, really. I mean, I think it's a pass game for me. I mean, Islanders, you'd like to think are going to win this game. You'd like to hope, if you're an Islander fan, you're going to win this game. I mean, it's the walking wounded for Florida. They're in just get this season over with mode right now, the Panthers. Although, to their credit, they gave Minnesota a battle, lost in the dying seconds of regulation against the Wild in their last game. But Danil Tarasov is once again in between the pipes for the Panthers. Hasn't been necessarily great for them of late. Sorokin in net for the Islanders here in this game. But you look at who's out. Reinhart, Bennett's been ruled out. That's the new one for the Florida Panthers. Sam Bennett's not going to play today. I don't think we're going to see Sammy Reinhart. Uvis Balinskis on the blue line out. AJ Greer still serving his suspension. Anton Lundell out. Evan Rodriguez out. And, of course, you still got the long-term guys, Nico Mikula, Brad Marchand out as well. So it's a I mean, it's a mash unit lineup today for the Florida Panthers. This is, I mean, shame on the Islanders if they don't win this hockey game. The question is, how do you approach it? I don't know. Islanders team total, they should get to 4 goals. I will say this about the actually that Minnesota-Florida game was 3-2. It was 3-2, so he didn't give up 4 goals in that game, Danil Tarasov. But most of his recent starts, he's given up 4. Do you trust the Islanders, though, every game to get 4 for an early start? I'd lean that way. I don't love it, though, here in this game. You could go Florida team total under, possibly. Florida team total under 2.5, -130. Are they really scoring more than 2 goals with this, patchwork, shorthanded, depleted lineup, against Sorokin right now? And I'll say this about the Islanders. They had that loss against the Chicago Blackhawks earlier this week, but they did respond pretty well in kind following that. So, like I said, it's just a game I don't have a strong opinion on either way. I'm just throwing out, if I were to look at something here in this game, I'd probably look at either an Islanders team total over or a Panthers team total under. I'd probably prefer the Panthers team total under because I could see it being like 2-1, 3-1 like it was for the Islanders against Dallas in that last game. But no bet officially here in this one. Alex, Panthers, Islanders.
Yeah, it's weird. I did something I usually don't do. I went with Islanders in regulation. It's betting them -115 because I do feel like they win this game, and this shouldn't be a struggle. This shouldn't be a battle. Like I said, I feel like it could be kind of a low, sleepy game. You're pretty much playing the Syracuse crunch with all the injuries and like I said, got pieces missing for Florida right now. And Tarasov is a goalie who's still shaky. You can't just completely trust him. But I just don't think it's going to take a whole lot for the Isles. This is a game, like I said, somebody chats at 2-0, 3-0. That wouldn't shock me one bit. So maybe look at Islanders tied with the under 6.5. I was trying to pull that up at MGM and see what the prices were. But I have this regulation -$1.15 with the Isles right now.
There you go. So officially for Alex, Islanders and reg here in this game. And we do not say that very often. You're right. Usually we're interested in the draw. I'm not interested in the draw here in this game. I mean, this really is a game that the Islanders should get taken care of in 60 minutes. But, crazier things have happened. There is one goal prop I like, Callum Ritchie. Actually, and Heineman. I'm on Heineman for the Islanders as well, but I'm on Callum Ritchie for the Islanders. He scored in back-to-back games. Pretty good price in that +375 range for him to find the back of the net. So, like I said, I definitely think, that's worth a look here for the Islanders. Ritchie, obviously starting to heat up for them. All right, Ottawa Senators, Tampa Bay Lightning. This is a good one here in the early afternoon. Tampa's still trying to chase down Buffalo for the division, so there's something to play for them. And Ottawa's playing for their playoff lives, so every game's like a playoff game for them. Tampa Bay -145, home favorite, 6 the total in this game. This one's starting in half an hour. I've read and heard that Jake Sanderson could be back today, but I don't want to say for sure. But there's been talk that they were targeting Saturday, this game here against Tampa Bay, for him to return. He's traveling with the team on this 2-game road trip. He didn't play on Thursday against Pittsburgh, but they're saying Saturday here in this game against the Lightning or Tuesday against the Panthers is when he could be back. We're going to know any minute because they're going to take the ice for the pregame skate in just a moment. But we'll see if he's back. You've got, obviously, Tampa Bay coming off a loss in overtime to the Seattle Kraken the other night, 4-3. You've got Ottawa coming off also an overtime shootout loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins, 4-3 in their last game. 6-0 to the over for Tampa Bay. A 6-game over streak for the Lightning here in this game. I'm waiting to see what's happening here because I really want to take a shot with Ottawa here. I mean, I think Tampa's beatable. Tampa's spotty right now. I mean, and I don't fully trust them at the moment. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they beat Seattle on the road, Vancouver on the road, Edmonton, okay, but, Edmonton's been up and down. They lost to Calgary. They did beat Minnesota. They lost to Seattle. There's been enough up and down in their game. Ottawa's been very, very, very good lately off a loss. Very good. They've been good at responding off a bad game. They lost to Montreal. They shut out Anaheim the next game. They lost to Washington. They beat the Islanders the next game. And it is James Reimer in net, but I don't even mind that because Reimer has been better lately. They've played well in front of him. They've been carrying the play. They've been possessing the puck. They've been good defensively. I'm going to be in on Ottawa. Give me Ottawa here, plus 125, even with Reimer and net. I think it's a huge game for them. They've always responded after a loss lately. Tampa's beatable. Vasilevsky hasn't been spectacular of late. I mean, Vasilevsky post-Olympic break has been nothing special, as of late. And even though he's in net, you certainly, on paper, give him an edge over Reimer. I like the resolve, the mettle, the toughness of this Ottawa team right now. You're getting a nice little plus price. I'm going to go with Ottawa here, plus 125. Can only look over the total as well, over 6 here, 6-0 over run. And I am still concerned about potentially up to 5 defensemen still being out for the Ottawa Senators if Jake Sanderson doesn't play. I'm just keep refreshing to see if we get an update here in the minute, but we'll know in a minute. And even if he does return, you've got 4 other defensemen out here in this one. But I still think this is put it this way, Tampa can lose to Seattle at home. You can lose to Ottawa at home. That's all there is to it. And a motivated Ottawa team, an Ottawa team playing for their lives. So sends an over for me. And I'm going to stick to it regardless of the Sanderson scenario of him being in or out. Alex, what do you think here? And give me the draw, too. Senators and Lightning, Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, this was a dog and draw for me. I actually grabbed this last night. I bet I got plus 340 at Caesars with the draw, and I grabbed plus 145 on the money line with Ottawa. And I will be adding, as we just try to pull things up, we'll be adding that Ottawa to win in overtime or shootout over at FanDuel. Plus 550 is the price available with that. But like I said, this definitely feels like it's this has to be a playoff, like an elimination kind of game almost for Ottawa, the way they need to play these games moving forward. And like I said, Tampa's beatable. This is a Tampa team where I think the fact that they were able to float so long with their injury issues and still find ways to win, I think now we're starting to see where things are just kind of, they're trying to settle in and find a pattern. And this is, of course, a team that still will become dangerous once it turns into round 1, game 1 of the playoffs. But like I said, they don't look like the usual Tampa Bay heading into the playoffs. Usually we see Tampa Bay, and it doesn't matter what position they're in, whether they're the best team in the East and they're rolling through to winning the President's Trophy or just sneaking in for a wild card. This is usually a dangerous time to play Tampa Bay, and that's just simply not the case in this game today. So give me the dog here, the draw, and dog to win in past regulation.
I think I like the price. It's good enough. I think it's just a much more impactful 2 points on the line for Ottawa compared to Tampa Bay. Ottawa's playing to get in the damn playoffs. We've seen this with Tampa Bay before. Do they really give 2 shits every year about winning a division and being first overall? I don't necessarily think it's a be-all, end-all goal for them, quite honestly. I really don't. And here's the Ottawa Senators. They're playing for their lives right now, and I like the way they've played. They've carried flow in every game, controlled the flow in every game they've played, where they've outplayed the other team. It hasn't always resulted in a win, but like I said, they've had that kind of game lately, no question. So I think they're worth a shot, and I'm going to ride the over streak with Tampa. There are still injuries on the blue line. I still think Tampa could find the back of the net here, and it is Reimer, not Allmark, but I think Ottawa can score here on this Tampa team. So I'm actually going to split it with team total over 2.5, money line and team total over 2.5 with the Ottawa Senators here in this game, because I do think they have a chance here to get 3 goals. Yeah, Nick Paul, obviously, is going to get there. Yes, former Ottawa Senator. You probably have to look toward his direction for a goal prop. Corey Perry scored last game. Sorelli's been a good look of late, of course, for the Lightning. I'm going to go back to Warren Fogle here for the Ottawa Senators, who's been a little bit better of late. So, like I said, definitely some props that I am interested in here when it comes to this early start matchup here between the Ottawa Senators and Tampa Bay Lightning. All right, I think that's that for that game. All right, that's a good game. I'll be definitely going to have that on because it'll be starting before we wrap up this show. This is a big game too. Next up, 3:30 Eastern, Anaheim, Edmonton. We've got Edmonton minus 145, home favorites, 6.5 with juice and 7s in some spots here as far as the total is concerned. And I get it with the total, right? These Edmonton games, I think the vast majority of them have been, we've talked about this, it's been, 80% of Edmonton games over the last month have gone over 6.5. I mean, it's been a crazy number, and it just keeps going over. We thought it was slowing down a bit, and then all of a sudden, 3 straight Edmonton games, 7-7-7. 5-2 loss to Tampa, 5-2 win against Utah, 4-3 win in overtime against the Vegas Golden Knights. This is a must-get for Edmonton if they want to win the division. Must. Simple as that. They are not winning this Pacific Division. They are not overtaking the Anaheim Ducks if they don't win this game, and especially if they don't win this game in regulation. I think they got to try to win it in 60 as well, because even if Anaheim gets a point here in this game and you win an overtime or a shootout, you're still going to be 4 points behind with less than 10 games left. It's still going to be very difficult to overtake. Meanwhile, if you're Anaheim, I love how people are saying that Edmonton's come into play here. Last chance to try to maybe surpass Anaheim for the division. Anaheim's going to be coming to play too. You know, they have a chance to bury this Edmonton team for as far as the divisional race is concerned here with a victory this afternoon. I have to sprinkle on Anaheim at plus 120. I get it, right? Edmonton is going to play this game with fervor. They know this is their last chance to try to, track down the Anaheim Ducks for first in the division. 5 points back entering today. But minus 140 for this Edmonton team against Anaheim, which has actually beaten them. The Ducks have beaten the Oilers 3 of the last 4 meetings. I mean, that's just a little bit disrespectful in my mind for this Anaheim team with, frickin' Frack and net. I don't even care who it is, Ingram and Jari at this point in time. Guys that aren't going to move the needle as far as dominant goaltending is concerned. I think it's just a little disrespectful. I had Edmonton maybe minus 115, minus 120. Minus 140 is too much respect. Too much respect for Edmonton. It's too much disrespect for Anaheim. Quack, quack. Give me the Anaheim here, plus 120. I'll look for a live over. I am interested in over 6.5. I just don't want it at minus 150. That's an outrageous price to lay pregame on over 6.5. Alex, this actually, what I'm going to do here is a first period, both teams to score. I think that makes a ton of sense here. Both teams coming out with a little, Anaheim knows they can put Edmonton away in the division with a win, and Edmonton knows that if they are going to have any chance to catch at Anaheim for the division, they got to win this. So I expect both teams with urgency early. I think both teams can pot one in the opening 20 minutes. And the one thing I will say about Dostal, who I'm sure is going to get the start here, he's been giving up first period goals lately. That is something I have noticed. He's had a lot of games where he's given up that early goal, and then he's settled down. So both teams to score first period does make sense here as well. Alex, this is a good one, Anaheim-Edmonton.
Yeah, if you had asked me 3-4 years ago, would you be excited about a Saturday afternoon game with Anaheim and Edmonton? I told you no. But the way things have shaken out now, and like you said, yeah, this is a little disrespectful with the Ducks. I was waiting to bet everything live except the draw pregame. I think we can get a better price on grabbing Anaheim in game. I like that both teams to score look, so that has me even kind of waiting a little bit longer now to maybe grab a small piece of Anaheim money line pregame. But I think we can get a better price in game with this one. Also, the draw, no way I'm touching a 6.5 or a 7 pregame. I'll be waiting for that in game as well. But I think this one could go past regulation, and I think, like I said, that's predicated on if Anaheim controls the pace of this game. I've seen this with Quenneville teams. I remember with the Hawks. And even with Florida, where you need to beat us more than we need to beat you. So we'll drag you into the water. We'll get that extra point, like I said, and create that separation. So I don't necessarily think that Anaheim puts them away in 60. I think this could go a little bit longer, but I think Anaheim get away with that second point. So like I said, a lot of live looks for me, but Anaheim money line and the draw are two things that I will have some pieces of in pocket.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, Michael Granlund, the chat's onto it. Of course, you knew I was going to say I cashed a bargain bin with the guy last game against Calgary, so you knew I was going to be looking at Mikael Granlund here for Anaheim to score once again. He's plus 300 again. He's the bargain bin price range again in some spots. Not all spots, but some spots have plus 300 for him to find the back of the net. It's a 4-game goal-scoring streak for Granlund entering this game this afternoon. So you got to keep going to the well with that. Plus 300 is there at BetMGM. You got to go back to Matt Savoy as well for Edmonton. I like Savoy here as well for this Edmonton Oilers team. He's really started to heat up. He's playing some really good hockey, playing confident, playing in the top 6. Plus 270 for him is a good price for Matt Savoy. He's certainly been heating up. Those are my 2 favorite props by far, one for each team, no question. So, like I said, that's going to be it. It looks like Kucherov and Paul, yes, out for the Tampa Bay Lightning with illness. And they're already without Hedman, too. So there you go. I was going to say, this seems like for Jake Sanderson still being out today. He's not back today. I'm like, why is Ottawa taking money? And that would explain it, especially Kucherov. Kucherov will move the needle as far as from a betting standpoint. So there you go with him ruled out for the Tampa Bay Lightning today. I mean, Ottawa, there's your chance. That's obviously, look, can't sugarcoat it. They're not as good of a team, Tampa Bay, without Nikita Kucherov. Like,
Right.
obviously, everything he touches offensively turns to gold, for them. So, like I said, it's a chance for Ottawa here. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. All right, San Jose, Columbus. Columbus minus 200 home favorites, 6.5 the total. Columbus off, two of the last 3 games, I believe they've lost. That was a tough one for them against Montreal. They didn't play that bad. It was a pretty even game. Mason Marchment has this glorious opportunity to tie the game in the dying seconds and totally whiffs on it, totally fans on it. And that was their one chance to tie it there late. They lose 2-1 to Montreal. They lost to the Islanders 1-0, and then sandwiched in between was the 3-2 victory against Philadelphia. All of a sudden, the offense in 2 of the 3 games has only scored 1 goal. But now they return home, and I think the offense could get going again here. San Jose, prior to the 2-1 overtime loss against St. Louis, as they continue to fade out of the playoff race, 6 straight losses. They had given up 4 more goals in 5 straight games before the St. Louis game, 5 of their last 6. Columbus returns home, where they've actually been an offensive juggernaut of late. The Jackets, 4+ goals in 6 straight home games, entering this matchup this afternoon against San Jose. So that's what I'm on. Columbus team total over 3.5. Can't trust this Sharks defense right now. They've been giving up goals left and right. Jackets on this 6-game home streak of scoring at least 4 goals. So give me the Jackets team total here over 3.5. That's my only bet here in this game, pregame at least. No, I do not like the draw here in this game. Columbus has been taking care of business lately at home, and especially their offense has been very good. And I expect a good crowd at Nationwide. I've seen the last couple home games, the crowd. Like, the place is buzzing like I haven't seen in a long time. They're packing the place. It's loud. It's they're into it. They're into this great run that the Jackets have put together under Rick Bowness. Ohio State sports is done. See you later, basketball. You're done. Football's still months away for the Buckeyes. I mean, it's all Jackets right now. I mean, that town is buzzing right now for Columbus Blue Jackets hockey. So it's a bigger and better home ice advantage right now for Columbus than it's been in the past. So Jackets team total over for me. Alex, Sharks, Jackets.
If you win, they will come. That's how it works in this league. But I beg to differ, though. I do like the draw here in this spot. And it's not so much that you got a Sharks team, like I said, still fighting for their lives, and it's the East versus West kind of a draw season spot. I think it's more the fact that, let's say, Columbus coming home off of the road trip. We've seen them kind of maybe get tripped up a bit, and it wasn't the best of trips. I think this maybe could be a game where Columbus kind of paces themselves, and they find a way to win that game in overtime or shootout. That's a bet I will have as well. But I took a draw price plus 340 at Caesars. I just thought that was a high price for a spot that could be kind of tight, and a San Jose team that I think, like I said, their run to the playoffs is over. But there's still a group of young guys, still a group of young, motivated guys. Warsawski's going to have them ready to play, and they could chip in offensively as well. So live overlook for me in this one.
I'm with you. If I see 5.5, I'll bet a live over.
Yeah, and I grabbed pregame at plus 179 over at FanDuel. Both teams to score first period. So plus 176. Both teams to score in the first period, and the draw pregame at 340 over at Caesars, and then I'll look for some things live. This is I don't think this is going to just be a slam dunk Blue Jackets win at home spot, but you've made a great point. Yes, we're seeing the increase, and my next goalie charts will reflect that with some of these teams who are having upgraded home ice advantages. Columbus is certainly one of them.
Yeah, no question. I would certainly agree with that. As far as props go, Mason Marchment, no argument there. No argument at all, with him as far as a goal prop. Connor Garland, I would say on the San Jose side, there's still value with Chernyshov and Graf, but the one I like for San Jose, believe it or not, here is Alexander Wenberg. He scored in the last game for San Jose against St. Louis. Their only goal was Alex Wenberg, and guess who's a former Blue Jacket? That's right, Alexander Wenberg. So I think Alex Wenberg scored against them before. Yeah.
Yep, he scored against them, and that was the day that he had his contract extension with San Jose. I know because I had a bargain bin on it.
All right, excellent. There you go. So there's something to that. And again, you're getting up to plus 500 with Alexander Wenberg. I think that 500 at DraftKings for him to score. So that's probably a good look here as far as a goal prop is concerned. All right, let's roll along here. The afternoon matinee affairs continue. We've got New Jersey, Carolina. Carolina minus 220 home favorites. 210 to 220 is what we're looking at here. 6.5 the total here in this game. This is an over for me. I like I got a 6 with the total at Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers at a 6 at minus 124. Let me see if it's minus 128 rather. Pinnacle actually has over 6 minus 118. That's even better. So find those 6s, even at 6.5. I sign off on the over. We're riding these New Jersey overs. It was a push in the last game against Nashville, 4-2 Devils win in that one, but they've still been trending to higher scoring, high-paced hockey, scoring goals, giving them up. And quite honestly, that's kind of been Carolina of late too, scoring goals and giving them up. I mean, the Bussy-Anderson combo in net has been leaky, hasn't been shutting it down at the defensive end of the ice, and I don't think their defense has been playing all that great lately. I mean, I think that's noticeable too. This rigid, shutdown, heavily well-structured defense of Carolina, there's been some cracks in the armor there of late, no doubt. In fact, Titan CT says, I took a little Devils. I don't hate that. I mean, they're playing with some passion still, some spirit, competitive hockey. That was a nice win against a red-hot Nashville team in their last game. I wouldn't be laying minus 220 with Carolina right now. That's for sure. I'm not going to take the Devils, but I understand why you're looking at that. But I'm on over 6 here. That's definitely the bet I like most here. Alex, Devils, Hurricanes.
There we go. I got the over by factor. Offshore, I was able to grab a 6 minus 125. I laid 130 with the over 1.5. That has now moved in most shops as well. So I would recommend waiting live for both looks, honestly, in game. And like I said, it's the Devils team that's playing some inspired hockey. And Carolina, I think we all know what Carolina's issue is now at this point, right? Over the last 3-4 years of watching this team with Rod Brind'Amour, they play too much playoff hockey in the regular season. Their structure is built for the postseason, but when you play it for 82 games straight and you don't really waver from it, then you have these moments, and it tends to happen in April and May and never June because they're already out of it at that point, is where they kind of burn out and fade out. And I think that's where we're kind of starting to see with Carolina. Brandon Bussy's had a hell of a season. This is a guy who's not used to having these kind of big time minutes, and now we're starting to see him fall apart. Frederick Anderson, if he's not physically falling apart, then he's just, having his moments where he's just not playing that well. And now you're seeing the blue liners who had, remember, a lot of injury issues and guys that were out of the lineup for a while trying to gel and get back into their cohesiveness. Now they're starting to kind of wear down. So it's just bad timing for Carolina, and we've seen this story before. So I would lean with Devils money line. Like I said, I can't really take that, but definitely thinking we can see goals here. So give me the over by factor.
All right, good stuff. As far as, by the way, goaltenders this afternoon, we've got Reimer and Vasilevsky for Tampa, Ottawa, Tarasov, Sorokin, Panthers, Islanders. We don't really have confirmations for anything else this afternoon as of yet, but we will try to update you before the end of the show if we find out. Yes, I have a day and a night bargain bin special. My day bargain bin special comes from this game, New Jersey and Carolina, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. All right, next up, we roll along here to Seattle. We got a couple first. There's 3 more afternoon games still to go. These are all 5 p.m. Eastern. New Jersey, San Jose, Columbus, 5 Eastern. New Jersey, Carolina is 5 p.m. Eastern, and so is this, Dallas and Pittsburgh. We've got Dallas minus 130, road favorite, 6 the total here in this game. I said this the other day, and of course we saw them lose to the Islanders 2-1. Dallas is playing out the string. I don't think it's the end of the world for them these last few games where they finish. They want the playoffs to get here. They're not playing with a great sense of urgency, not from what I'm seeing of late. I could only look at Pittsburgh here as a home underdog, plus 110. Maybe I do sprinkle on it, but it's the only side I'd be interested in here. Now, we do have to see on the Pittsburgh side what's going on with an injury standpoint here for them. I mean, they've been very quiet about what's going on with Crosby and with Malkin. For that matter. But we know Malkin didn't play with an upper body injury against Ottawa. We know Sidney Crosby left the game with a lower body injury against Ottawa, but we haven't heard decisive, definitive updates as to their status here moving forward for this game and beyond. Ottinger and Shelovs are the projected starting goaltenders, but neither of those are confirmed. I did post this. I think I posted it. I sent it to the Robinsons too because I knew they'd be interested. Mikko Rantanen activated from the IR, and if that's happening, you got to think he's back today for the Dallas Stars against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And considering the offense has been a little janky, a little up and down of late, having him back certainly would be a boost here for this Dallas Stars team. I think I am going to end up sprinkling on Pittsburgh here in this spot, plus 110. I was impressed with their guts against Ottawa to win that game, losing Crosby during the game, not having Malkin, and still found a way to win. I think that was pretty damn impressive here in this one. Pens, I agree with what Jonathan's saying. If you like Pittsburgh, you can sprinkle it or split it with team total over. 3.5 is plus 150. 33 of their 36 wins this year, which is a crazy percentage. 33 of Pittsburgh's 36 wins, they have scored at least 4 goals. So there you go. That's pretty wild when you think of that. So it makes sense to at least split your bet up with money line and team total over. And I like this full game over 6. We've been riding these Pittsburgh overs. We've talked about it. What is it, 10-1 now, the run as far as overs in Pittsburgh Penguins games. And certainly if Rantanen comes back, that's going to be a boost offensively for the Dallas Stars. So, over 6. The gift, 11-0 streak to the goal in first 10 minutes in Pittsburgh games, says Addison. 11-2 streak for the goal in first 10 minutes in Dallas games. So this could be one of these games to look at that goal in first 10 minutes. And maybe I'll take it one step further, but maybe that, I love my goal in first 5 minutes at an even better plus price. Might even dabble in that just a little bit. Over 6, Pittsburgh in some form, probably a money line team total over split. Alex, what do you think here? Stars, Pens.
I was able to get, once again, pays to have a couple offshore books. It was a 5.5 minus 130 this morning, so I grabbed that. I do like 6. There's still 6 minus $1.14 at Bet Online and a couple of the spots. And I'm gonna look for live for the first period over, especially when you mentioned those goal in first 10-minute numbers. So that's something I'll look for in game. Try and just get a little, knock it down maybe 10 or 15 cents in game. Wait a couple minutes and grab that first period over. But I like goals here, and like I said, Mikko Rantanen back in the lineup certainly would help with that case. And Pittsburgh, I think we still could see a bump, even if there's no Malkin and there's no Crosby here. We could still see a bump of play offensively for this particular game. But then, of course, like I said, then you worry about that the longer it goes on without those guys. So give me the over, full game over pregame, and first game over in game. You mute it. Ian, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. There we go. I'm going to get in on the draw as well. There was a shootout in Dallas the last time they played back in December, East versus West. Those are always great draw parameters in our mind. So, I'm going to get in on the draw a little bit here with the Stars and the Penguins. Not to mention that Stars-Islanders game almost went to overtime. So, a little bit on the draw as well. I agree with Bunting. You're right, but is Bunting going to play? He hasn't always been in the lineup every single day here for Dallas. He will be in this afternoon, it looks like. Yeah, Michael Bunting here for the Stars, and he is a former Penguin, and he likes scoring against his former teams. I know that because he scored against the Leafs multiple times. He scored against other teams that he used to play for. So I don't mind Michael Bunting as far as a goal prop for Dallas going back to Pittsburgh here this afternoon. I can sign off on that. Makes sense. He's just one of these players. Like, you go back and look, he scored a lot against his former teams in the past. Raquel, back-to-back games with a goal for him, especially if Crosby and Malkin don't play. That's going to put more onus on him, and you're still getting over plus 200. Matt Duchene scored last game. Erik Karlsson, I'm going back to the well with Erik Karlsson, plus 550 for Pittsburgh. Scored in 3 of the last 5. Scored against his old team, the Ottawa Senators, in their last game. So definitely some goal props that are worth mentioning here as far as Dallas and Pittsburgh this afternoon affair. All right, next up, Minnesota and Boston. We've got Minnesota minus 120 road favorites, 6 being the total here in this game. I am a little surprised by this price, I must admit. We know Boston's been amazing at TD Garden all year. And I know Minnesota's a pretty solid, good team in their own right. They're coming off a 3-2 win against Florida. I'm a little surprised this price is like this, but Boston, how good they've been at home. Now, they did lose at home just recently to break up there. And they've lost a couple at home, I would say, the last week. They had their home win streak snapped by San Jose 4-2. But then they lost to Toronto. It was Toronto earlier this week. They lost 4-2 at home. But they still haven't lost 2 in a row at home in forever. Like, they lost to San Jose at home. They beat Winnipeg 6-1 their next home game. They lost to Toronto their last home game. They bounced back. They won in overtime in Buffalo 4-3. It's just a little disrespectful with how good they've been at home. I'm on Boston here, plus 100. Give me the draw, too. It's a great draw spot. Makes sense. We could East versus West. Definitely could see this game go past regulation. Boston, a crazy draw team lately. How about 6 of the last 10 Bruins games going past regulation? Minnesota, 4 of the last 10 have gone past regulation as well. So both of these teams have certainly had their share of games go past regulation. The draw for me. And because this is such a huge card, at the end of the show, I'm going to give you a draw round robin that I will be betting. And I've been doing this a little bit lately with the big cards. All the draws that I like in a little round robin where it's just a series of 2-game draw parlays with these draws that I like. And it's I know I hit there was one I hit last week and more draws than not cashed. And boy, was it a nice little chunk of change that landed in the account after that. So like I said, I'll give you a draw round robin for the Saturday card a little bit later. And this will be part of it. Minnesota, Boston draw. I'm also Bruins plus 100 here. Alex, Minnesota, Boston.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. I've actually had people DM and ask me about, playing round robins and draws. So that's certainly like a market you can attack during draw season. There's not just, you don't have to bet these things all individually. You can stack them together and maximize it. And this is a great draw spot. I wanted as well. I grabbed plus 322 at Bet Online earlier this morning. And I was kind of looking to wait maybe to grab Boston at a better price in game. As a result of that, I think this could be a back and forth kind of a pace. There's some games tonight where I have the draw where I feel like they find their way into overtime. This is one I think that plays like a true East versus West draw season kind of a spot. We have goals back and forth. So maybe a lean to the over as well. Try and grab a 5.5 in game in this spot. But I definitely like to go past 60.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, like I said, it's I just did a double take when I saw this. I mean, the Bruins, they're only 26-10-1 at home, and here they are, even money, on home ice. So, like I said, I just thought the value was there with the Bruins. Like I said, Minnesota won't be an easy game. Minnesota is very capable, and they actually have a good road record. They've been a good road team this year, the Minnesota Wild. But I just thought plus 100, man, that's value. I mean, got to take it. And I like the draw as well. As far as props for this game, no argument at all with Pavel Zacha. He scored in 3 of the last 5 of the last 10 games. You're still getting over plus 300 for him to find the back of the net for the Bruins. I like that quite a bit. Marcus Foligno has actually had some success against the Bruins, believe it or not, in the past. Arvidsson's been heating up of late for the Bruins. Hartman finally got one the last game for the Minnesota Wild, and he can be a streaky son of a gun. Maybe you trust him to pot one in a second straight game. So those are a couple of props that I'd be interested in here. You've got still Husnadinov and Minton. I'm a sucker for taking them every game because they're playing with Pasternak on the top line. So I'd still be interested there, as far as goal props are concerned. So there's a couple. Maybe Tarasenko, too, to consider because he's been, how streaky he can be, and he's popped up with a goal or two of late for Minnesota here as well. All right, we have finally reached the conclusion here with this next game, the conclusion of the matinee games, the afternoon games on the slate. Now we've got Minnesota, Boston, Dallas, Pittsburgh, Jersey, Carolina, San Jose, Columbus. They're all 5 p.m. Eastern. This one is 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank goodness the NHL had their freaking sense to put something at the 5:30 Eastern and not this one at 5 Eastern too. Then we're sitting around like a bunch of dopes playing tiddlywinks, looking up at the ceiling, waiting for something to watch at 5:50 p.m. Eastern time, when everything's at intermission. Why the hell is there not a game to watch right now? And at least we've got Seattle Buffalo because they scheduled it at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So finally, this league, someone in the league office with schedules using their noodle a little bit here with this Seattle and Buffalo decision and put it at 5:30 Eastern. All right, we got Buffalo minus 190, home favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. I don't know why, but I have a feeling it's a short turnaround for the Sabres. They're coming off the 5-2 loss to Detroit yesterday. Suddenly, Lyon and UPL have had a couple bumps in the road with their goaltending of late. You've got an early start, late afternoon affair here in Buffalo, less than 24 hours later. You got Seattle on this road trip that I got to admit, I haven't been impressed with them defensively. Seattle on this road trip. I think this gets sloppy. I think this gets, the breakdowns left and right. I don't trust the defenses on either side at the moment. I think it's goals early. I think it's goals often here in this game. So I'm on a bunch here. I'm on both teams to score first period. I'm going back to the well with that look here. Seattle still desperate for points, and that was a big win to at least give them a little glimmer of hope with beating Tampa Bay in overtime a couple days ago. See, both teams to score. I'm going to take both team totals in this game. Seattle over 2.5, Buffalo over 3.5. I think it's going to be 6-5 somebody here or 5-4 somebody in this game. And go look at the series history with Buffalo and Seattle. It's been crazy how many games have been high scoring, believe it or not. 7-2 to the over in the last 9. Look at the games in Buffalo in particular. And Seattle's actually won 4-0 in Buffalo, I believe, since they've been a franchise here in Seattle. Like they, for some reason, have had a ton of success here in Buffalo. And the scores have been 7-4, 4-3, 5-2, 6-2. All of them going over the total. As well. So I think this is 5-4, 6-5. I just think it is. And I don't like the form of either team, especially Seattle defensively. And, the advanced numbers, which I don't often reference, they're horrendous at the moment for Seattle defensively. And so they've really crumbled with their foundation on the back end right now. So both team totals over, both teams to score first period, and obviously the full game over. I grabbed a 6 at -120 with the full game over. Here in this game. And give me the draw, too. I'm not missing out and betting the draw either. You've got East versus West, Buffalo trying to get back on track. Every point's valuable for them as they try to win the division. Seattle, every point for them is valuable, and they don't care if Buffalo gets anything out of this game. So I think the draw is live here as well. So hopefully we see a bunch of goals. Alex, what do you think here, Seattle, Buffalo?
Yeah, I was actually going to wait in-game for the over by factors, but I think I'm going to add the Matty Rob special. With this one, over 1.5 and over 5.5, and get plus 109 with that parlay combo over at FanDuel. You feel quite confident there's going to be a lot of goals in this game, so I'm going to take your word for that. But I did grab draw pregame plus 340. Caesars had the best price for that one again, as well. Definitely the draw season spot with East versus West, both teams needing their points. So draw and like I said, Matty Rob special pregame, and I just look for individual over by factor in game.
All right, good stuff indeed. As far as there's definitely some props that I'm interested in here. I mean, I don't know where to begin, but I do think there's going to be both teams having some success offensively. But and obviously it has to start with Bobby McMahon here for Seattle. Back-to-back games with a goal for him. Still good price, plus 260. Kakko's been heating up lately for the Kraken here as well. I would say for Buffalo, I'm not giving up on Zach Benson. He didn't score last night, but he's still been impactful. Peyton Krebs is on the top line with Thompson and Tuck, probably worth a look. I would say Josh Doan, Jason Zucker, has had a nice little run offensively of late for the Sabres as well. So, like I said, there's definitely a decent amount here of goal props to consider here in this matchup between the Kraken and the Sabres. Again, we don't have goalies confirmed. We just have Decord and UPL projected. It will be UPL for Buffalo because it was Lyon last night and it's back-to-back. So it's almost a positivity that it'll be UPL for Buffalo. I would expect Decord for Seattle. And Decord has been, I would say he's had a great game and a rough game. That's kind of been the pattern for him of late for the Seattle Kraken. We'll see how he fares here, though, in this matchup this afternoon. But those would be definitely some of the things I'd be looking at here in this one. All right, as we move along here, as far as this Saturday card, that's all the afternoon games, by the way. That we have gone through. The rest of the games here for this slate are going to be night games, so we'll get to those now. There we go. Okay, on we go. Next up, we've got 7 p.m. Eastern, Montreal and Nashville. Boy, this is a pretty good game, too. We've got Montreal minus 120 road favorites in Music City. Total here sitting at 6.5, shaded to the under here in this game. Nashville off a loss to New Jersey. Montreal feeling good, riding high, couple of home wins in a row this week. In fact, they played a nice little run, Montreal, to give them some breathing room in the Eastern Conference playoff race. But 4 straight 3 straight wins for Montreal on their homestand against the Islanders, Canes, and Jackets. 4-1 in their last 5 games. But now they go on the road to Nashville, and do they have I don't want to say they, go downtown and have some fun, but you never know. They should be focused on, trying to solidify a playoff spot here. But it definitely feels like a Nashville spot coming off a loss to New Jersey at home, looking to bounce back. They'll probably play better here in this one. I don't know if I want to step in front of Montreal, though. I like the way they're playing, and Fowler in net. I don't really want to bet against him. Last time I bet against him, I haven't bet against him very often, but I remember when I did, I took the over, and he basically stole the over from me, ripped the money right out of my hands with those saves he made at the end of the game against Ottawa. That was a few weeks ago. So, like I said, I'm on the draw, though, for sure, 100%. No-brainer. Draw for me. This will be in the draw round robin parlay as well. East versus West, we're going to see a situation where obviously it's going to be, both teams looking to get important points. We already have an Ottawa goal, apparently. That did not take long. 1-0 Senators here in this. Let's go, Sens. Let's go. Like it. Keep it coming. The team total I got in on, too. So there we go. I told you, split it with the money line and the team to keep it going, Ottawa. It's a big bounce back spot. Play with that fire. Play with that intensity. There we go. Good stuff. Dylan Cousins with the goal for the Ottawa Senators. The workhorse from Whitehorse gets things going for the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, I like the draw here. I think it's a Nashville spot, but I like what I'm seeing out of Montreal. Montreal's playing good hockey, and Marty St. Louis got them dialed in defensively for the first time. Remember, they were out of sorts defensively, breakdowns, and losing games because they weren't defending well. They have been lately. And I like the vibes around Montreal, and I like the vibes enough around them where I don't think I'm going to bet Nashville, even though I feel it's a good spot for them. So I like the draw pregame for sure. TBA on whether I move on Nashville. At the moment, I'm not. Alex, what do you think here? Canadiens, Predators.
Yeah, this one had kind of slipped through my draw parameters with a lot of games being on the docket, but it makes sense. East versus West, both teams needing points. This is one where I may grab a little piece of, not the best price either. I'm seeing 317, 320. So may grab a piece of this in game at a bigger price. But what I like is first period over. I got minus $1.30 with that. I definitely could see a couple of goals here early in this contest. And of course, it's Saturday night, so we're going with Cole Caulfield props. Anytime goal plus 120, 2 goals or more plus 750, and I did grab a little piece of first goal 9-1 and first home team goal, or first road team goal I should say, for the Habs at 5-1.
All right, there we go. Good stuff indeed. As far as this total too is, I like Fowler. I'm a Jacob Fowler fan. I think he's going to be a good goalie. I could, I'm not sold this is an over. I'd need 5.5 to bet an over in this game. That's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah, like I said, first period over. This definitely feels like a game that could cash first period over and then slow down. That's why I don't have full. It's not a bifecta for me.
Yeah, no doubt. So, like I said, we're very, very interested to see how this plays out tonight with this game, Montreal and Nashville. As far as goal props here for this one, just taking a look here as far as the goal props for Montreal and Nashville. I mean, Stamkos has scored in 4 straight games, but you never get great prices with him anymore. But that's where obviously Caulfield. I am going to dabble in the 2 goals and the hat trick. I mean, this is in Nashville. This is a little bit different. It's on the road, not in Montreal. But I mean, how do you argue with what he's done on a Saturday night? You can't. There's no argument to be made. He's been that dominant. Reed Schaefer from Nashville might be worth a look. Matthew Wood is good for Nashville. Like I said, I like what I've seen from him lately. So those are a couple of props on their side. I would also maybe look at Kapanen. I just have a feeling with Kapanen because Kapanen's had success against Nashville in the past. So Oliver Kapanen could be worth a look here for Montreal as far as finding the back of the net is concerned. All right, next up we've got Toronto and St. Louis. Well, I'll be quick with this one. Playing for exercise. We've got St. Louis minus 140 home favorites, 5.5, 6 the total. This is pass. Not interested. I don't even like the draw. I like nothing in this game. Over, under. Actually, I'd probably lean over, but gosh, St. Louis has been playing good defensive hockey lately. So I wouldn't say that's a for sure. But Toronto is not a team I want to bet under with. So, yeah, this is an easy pass. What I would say about the Leafs is they had a little pump up in their effort the last couple of games, right? Boston, spoiler to a team in your division. The Rangers at home, they beat the Rangers. Well, guess what? It was Mentor's trip. The Mentors were in the house Tuesday and then Wednesday. Mentors aren't with them in St. Louis tonight. So I don't think this is a good spot for the Leafs. I would lean Blues. I'm not laying minus 140, though, with St. Louis. I can think of better things to do with my money. Easiest pass on the board for me for the night slate, for sure. Alex, I think it's looking like you might agree. What do you think, Leafs, Blues?
Yes, absolutely agree. There's no reason to bet bad teams late in the year, and that would include Toronto and to an extent St. Louis, even though they've had a bit of a bump. But yes, nothing here for me. So.
Yeah, what I would say is if the Blues are trailing, I might take a plus price bet live with them, but not laying this pregame with them. I can tell you that. And Binnington's in net, not Hofer, and Hofer's been excellent lately. Not that Binnington's been bad. Binnington's been better lately too, but I would have preferred the Blues with Hofer, if you ask me. But it is going to be Jordan Binnington here tonight for the St. Louis Blues. Joe Woll for Toronto. And one thing that could tilt the scales in Toronto's favor, Joe Woll's a St. Louis or a Missouri native. St. Louis guy, and might have family there, you would think. He's going to want to play well, and he has been playing well. I mean, Toronto's getting caved in, and they'd be losing these games 8-1 if not for Joe Woll in some of these games of late. So that's a little scary if you're going to endorse the Blues here, that you could see Joe Woll close to home wanting to play well tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs in this game. All right, as far as props go, there are a couple as far as this game is concerned for props. Dvorsky, our guy Holloway. Dvorsky has scored against Toronto in the past as well for St. Louis, so I'm interested there. I don't have any rhyme or reason for why he's all of a sudden starting to chip in offensively, but he kind of got in these little offensive grooves and little short-term hot streaks scoring goals back when he was with Vancouver as well. Maybe Dakota Joshua here for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. For some reason, he's been starting to put the puck in the net here in recent games for them. So definitely interested in that as far as goal props are concerned. Joshua might be worth a look here as well. So there you go. 2-0 Ottawa. Boy, this is what I was hoping for from them. This kind of start that, because that was a frustrating loss against Pittsburgh. They know they've got work to do, and they have come out with the start I was hoping for. 2-0 for the Ottawa Senators over the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, this Ottawa team, man, all you got to do is watch the effort they've been playing with for the last few weeks to know that I was pretty convinced they would be ready to go here this afternoon. And nice start there for Ottawa. But yeah, as far as props here, like I said, Joshua, Dvorsky, Holloway, props of interest here for me in this early start affair. This nighttime affair. I've got the early games on in front of me. I've got early start in my brain. And this is a night game, obviously. But yeah, Holloway, maybe Snuggerud too. But Dvorsky I like because he scored against Toronto. And then, like I said, for the Leafs, Cowan on the top line. I still think there's good value. And sprinkle on Dakota Joshua because he stepped up of late. All right, next up, as we continue along here, we've got Winnipeg, Colorado. These teams again. This is like the third time in the last 2 weeks they've played each other. They played twice in Winnipeg. And now here they are playing in Denver at Ball Arena. We've got Colorado minus 260, home favorites, total 6 in this one. I did something nuts here. Crazy. Really, really crazy. But I don't know. I've got this feeling in my mind here. I took a dabble plus 210 on Winnipeg here. I did. Colorado just beat them. Winnipeg's actually, for some reason, in the regular season, they played Colorado tough in this, but they haven't always won here at Ball Arena. But for some reason, they have given Colorado some tough games in this building. I mean, you look at the last few meetings between them in Colorado in the regular season, the last two, Colorado won 3-2 in December earlier this season, but it was a close game. Colorado just beat them 2 days ago. Winnipeg won in Colorado last January, 3-2 in overtime. So, like I said, Colorado has these lulls too, where they look disinterested, they look disengaged. They've had games like this lately. There's not really a ton of pressure on them right now. Dallas is not right on their heels. Dallas has been up and down. They've not really kept the pressure on Colorado for first in the Central. Minnesota's no chance in hell of them catching Colorado. They've won 4 in a row. They're playing their first game home off that 4-game road trip as well. This is just one of these where I feel I know the DNA and the mindset and the mentality and the performance patterns of this Colorado team enough to know this is going to be some kind of sweat for them tonight for some reason against the Jets. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I said, I think at plus 210, I'm willing to experiment with this little theory of mine. So I'm going to look toward Winnipeg plus. It's not a very small bet, very, very small bet. It'll be probably 0.1, 0.2 units, which for me is smaller than the half unit average per bet for me. But plus 210, I think it's a disinterested time maybe for the Colorado Avalanche. You just beat this team. You're off a road trip, distractions when you return home. No one's catching you for the division anyway. It's not a balls to the wall effort spot for the Avs tonight. We'll see. Is Winnipeg good enough to do it? Anything about it? We'll see. Alex, what do you think? Winnipeg, Colorado.
This was initially going to be a pass for me, but I'm going to add Jets first goal, first period. Plus 180 is a really good
That's
price.
pretty good too. I probably will take that as well.
That's something I could get myself behind. But yeah, Jets full game effort against Colorado. And like you said, Colorado, even though Colorado just beat this team, third time in 12 days they've played. So who knows? This could be a spot where Colorado, plays slow and disinterested, and all of a sudden, second period, third period, they turn it on. Like we've seen Winnipeg do when they were a good team, right? They play these kind of slow games, and all of a sudden, oh, hey, we're losing 1-0. Let's turn around and get 3 goals quick. That's exactly how Colorado can play this one. So I don't want anything. First goal, first period.
I'm shaking my head because I just saw Florida score. So it's 1-0 Panthers. Okay. And I'm shaking my head because I didn't bet this game, obviously, but I said, here we go again with this Islanders team. They're going to make it very tough on themselves, difficult on themselves, agonizing on their fans this game.
And watch, I have Isles regulation, so this will definitely be a 2-2 overtime game. That's happened to be quite often this year.
The one freaking time we take these bastards to win in reg. Yeah.
There's been 3 games this year for sure where I'm like, oh, I like this team in regulation, and the game just clearly just plays to an OT. So
yeah, I get it. So this is, I don't know, this is just a weird hunch, and I'm willing to take a chance with it at plus 210, and a little bit on that Jets first goal, first period as well. Here in this one. All right, good stuff. So yeah, it was Kachuk a breakaway after a Heineman, and I have a Heineman prop in this game, so ripped it off the bar right before that. But 1-0 there for the Panthers in that one. All right, as far as props here for Winnipeg and Colorado, Mark Scheifele. I mean, the Jets probably aren't making the playoffs, but Mark Scheifele, give him credit. He's played really well for the Jets of late. He scored in back-to-back games. For them, something could be worth a look. Natchez as well has been good. I think if you're looking at Colorado tonight in this game, you've got obviously Landeskog on the top line. Could be some value. I've talked about Ross Colton a little bit. He's been chipping in a bit more lately. For Winnipeg, I would just run it back with Iafallo. Velarde and Perfetti on the second line could be worth a shot. By the way, Morgan Barron's day-to-day, and he's day-to-day because he got fucking his teeth kicked in by Manson the other night in that fight. Credit to him for stepping up, and winning that game. But like I said, it's credit to him for stepping up and fighting Manson. But yeah, I mean, he was a little out of his element there, but I give him credit for his guts. But yeah, it didn't end well for Morgan Barron in that fight the other night. Again, in this game, much like a lot of the games, we don't have goalie confirmations at the moment. Hellebuck and Wedgwood are projected, but neither one confirmed as of yet. All right, we go to the Saturday night ABC primetime game, Philadelphia Flyers and Detroit Red Wings. We've got Detroit minus 140, home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. Knowing what we've seen from Detroit, wouldn't it be not that shocking if they lost this game tonight? That's kind of the way I feel. Like, I'm not really rushing to take Detroit minus 140. You could say, well, they got their confidence back last night against the Buffalo Sabres, and it was a very good win. Don't get me wrong. Buffalo's obviously been terrific for the better part of the last 2 months. But they're on a back-to-back. It's not like home ice has been great to them these last couple times they've been at the Pizza Box, Little Caesars Arena. They've lost 2 home games in a row to the Bruins and the Senators. Back-to-back, rest advantage for Philly off of 5-1. And Philly's been playing pretty good hockey under Rick Tocchet of late. That's why they're not totally out of the playoffs yet. I don't think they're getting in, but They're still alive mathematically. They still have a chance at the moment as far as making the playoffs is concerned with this 7-3 run in their last 10 games. Beating Chicago, beating LA, Anaheim, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Washington during this stretch. We'll see how they fare here tonight in this game. Dan Vladar has already been confirmed in net here for the Philadelphia Flyers in this one tonight. Now, it's going to be very interesting what Todd McClellan does, because obviously John Gibson was in net last night in Buffalo. You've got Cam Talbot, who has been dealing with a minor injury. They said he tweaked something, or he tweaked something, and that's why he was not available last night for Detroit against the Buffalo Sabres. It's not a long-term situation. They're saying it's possible Talbot could be back tonight against Philadelphia, but that's not for sure yet. And they called up this Michael Postava from the minors from Grand Rapids, where he started 21 games with the Grand Rapids Griffins, 1.86 goals against, .932 save percentage. He has not made his NHL debut yet, but Michael Postava is the guy that's been called up here from the Grand Rapids Griffins. So it could be Gibson on a back-to-back. It could be Talbot, and it could be Michael Postava right now. Is Kosa injured? Like, what's going on here?
No.
Is he injured down there?
He's just staying down there for the rest of the way, because now they're getting ready for their playoffs.
Right.
You know,
that's
that,
right. It's
that's what the real
time of year where you're right. You got to be with the team if you're going to be on the playoff roster.
And that's going to be the real.
That with fucking Bo Grew. They sent him down because if they didn't send him down the other day, he wouldn't be eligible to play for the Marlies. Right.
And the initial the Yzer plan at some point will be this entire organization watching Grand Rapids go on to win the Calder Cup, riding Sebastian Kosa, who's your best goaltender in your organization, and you've been playing this back and forth game with John Gibson, who we know his best days are behind him, and Cam Talbot, who can't be trusted. Now he's hurt, and Postava's numbers only look good because that Grand Rapids team's only lost about 12 games the whole year. So,
right. I mean, he's got for an AHL team, it's a juggernaut defense from what I've seen. Very, very strong.
Insanely good. They could probably beat the Red Wings.
Yeah.
Like there's very few times in history where I could say an AHL or even going further back an IHL team could give their NHL counterpart fits. I wouldn't if you gave me odds right now on Grand Rapids versus Detroit, I'd probably take the Griffins.
That's bold stuff, but they're damn good. I mean, look at their record. I mean, that Grand Rapids team is one hell of a freaking team down there. I mean, they're an AHL juggernaut. Like I said, they've been fantastic. So that's an interesting statement.
You just hope the future if you're a Wings fan, you hope the future translates once all these guys move up. But right now, that's a juggernaut.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not laying -140 with Detroit. Credit to them, great win. Needed it, good team. It was a great response from them. Great response. But I'm not trusting them 2 in a row on a back-to-back. And Philly's been playing pretty solid hockey themselves. They haven't quit on the season. Like, don't tell the Flyers that they can't make the playoffs. They're still playing with that effort. They're not getting in. They're just too far back. And, I don't think teams ahead of them are going to make it possible for them to make up the ground. But they're still playing with that effort that, hey, until we're mathematically out, we're going to keep playing like we've got a chance. I like the draw here. That's the clear choice for me in this Flyers and Red Wings game. This will be part of the draw round robin as well. You've got Philadelphia. They had 4 straight games go past regulation earlier this month, and still 5 of the last 10 have gone past regulation for them. You look at head-to-head between these two teams. They played in January last year. The last time they faced each other, it was an overtime game in Philadelphia. So East versus West, draw for me for sure. And there's a great, you're right about that. Jonathan's brought up the stats for Detroit, front end and back end of a back-to-back. They've been dicey in these situations all season. Detroit 2-7 on the second night of back-to-back games this season. Something to factor in here before you bet this game. Yeah, it's probably Flyers or pass, but I'm just sticking to the draw. Alex, what do you think here? Flyers, Red Wings.
Yeah, I already had draw, but I think I'll add Flyers to win in overtime or shootout plus 500 based off of that number too. Like I said, yeah, Detroit. This team's just they kind of want to say they are who they thought they were. They'd be floating around in this spot toward the end of the season. But the goaltending, like, I mean, how many? This be 4 years in a row where we said goaltending is going to probably be the issue why Detroit doesn't make the playoffs, and you did go and address it to an extent by getting Gibson, but when you once again have a better goalie already in your organization that you, for whatever reason, you're waiting to trying to keep him as fresh as possible, waiting to pop the can on him. Here you are in this spot now, fighting for points. And yeah, I don't think this is going to be the most interesting game for an ABC Saturday night. But like I said, we don't care about interesting. We care about profit. So give me the draw, and I'll sprinkle a little bit on Flyers to win it past regulation.
This is where my second bargain bin special of the night comes from. This is my night game bargain bin special. It comes from this game. So we will mention that a little bit later. In fact, there's a couple props. This one's not a bargain bin, so I will mention it. Sean Couturier. He scored in back-to-back games for the Flyers, plus 550 for him to find the back of the net for the Philadelphia Flyers. So it's good to see that. He's obviously, for the last few years, not known for his offense, but at the same point in time, he has scored in back-to-back games. So we'll go to the well, see if we ride the wave for a third straight game with Sean Couturier, the veteran center here for the Philadelphia Flyers. Bump, I think, is worth a shot. He got bumped to the top line, and he scored last game for the Philadelphia Flyers. Alex Bump. As far as on the flip side, Detroit goal props, City of Comfort, crazy motherfucker named JT with Larkin and Raymond on the top line. So some decent value with that. And let me see. Casper, I think, scored recently too for Detroit. With him, this might be the right time maybe to get back to that. Well, he scored last night. Yes, he did. Got one of their goals against Buffalo. So maybe Marco Casper here for the Red Wings. And I have another prop in this game that is my second bargain bin special for this Saturday, and I'll mention that later in the show. All right, Utah Mammoth, Los Angeles Kings. We've got pretty much even money here, minus 110 both sides, 5.5 the total. Yeah, Kings over. We've been riding them a little bit, obviously. Now it stayed under against Vancouver, but that's Vancouver. They didn't do jack shit to help us out. With that over, and that's how bad they are, the Vancouver Canucks, sometimes, that they can get shut out by the Kings 4-0, and that's exactly what happened in that one. So I'm going to go back to the well with another LA over, 5.5, and plus I cashed a ticket with the over just recently with these two teams. It was in Utah, I think it was last weekend, and it went over the total between these two teams. So I like over 5.5, minus 120, and I know it's revenge for LA that they lost in Utah in overtime last week. But LA's not good at home. We've said this all year. And Utah now, after a loss to Edmonton to end their homestand at the Delta Center, Utah's been just terrific in these spots where they lose at 1 or 2 at home, and they're off back-to-back home losses to Edmonton. Oh yeah, Washington. I forgot about that. They lost to Washington 7-4 in their last home game. They've been good in these spots where they have a couple disappointing home losses, and then they get away from home, get away from Utah, go on the road. They come together and they play well when that road trip starts. This has happened multiple times this year for the Utah Mammoth. Just recently, I'm looking back on, they got shut out 4-0 by Chicago, and then they went on the road and they beat Washington 3-2. There's one example of that. They lost against Pittsburgh 4-3, and they blew a 2-0 lead at home to Pittsburgh and lost 4-3. Well, then they went on the road right after that, and they beat Dallas and Vegas in back-to-back games, Utah. They've been really good at bad home games, getting on the road, playing well. It's been a pattern of theirs. So give me Utah here, minus 110. Just don't trust LA. And LA's been porous at home all year. So Utah minus 110 and over 5.5 here. And another goal for Matthew Tkachuk, who is now on hat-trick watch for the Florida Panthers. 2-0. For the Florida Panthers over the New York Islanders. Here we go again with this damn Islanders team, man. They put their friggin' fans through the torture chamber. This is like the Chicago game all over again.
Yep.
You realize that you're fighting for your playoff lives. You're down 3-1 in that game to Chicago after the first period. You're down 2-0 now, late first period against this Panthers team. Wow.
But this is
Islanders.
This is what they do. This is the Islanders. Right. This is the Islanders.
It is what they do. And down 2-0. Still 2-0 Ottawa as well. No change there. Still up 2 on the Lightning in the 2 early games. Alex, your thoughts here. What do you like here? Utah, LA.
Yeah, I like Utah in this spot. I grabbed them minus $1.07 was the price that I had, but I did like that first period over. I grabbed a little piece of that. Forgot about the full game overs with the Kings, so I will have a piece of that 5.5. Well, turn this into a bifecta, and I grabbed a little piece of the draw here as well because, like I said, both teams will be happy with getting the points. LA is just a draw magnet still, so that's the way I'm playing this. Utah to win, and I do have Utah to win in past regulation as well.
Right.
But over bifecta will be added on as well.
Yeah, I'm going to get the draw. I forgot to mention that too. I do have a piece of the draw. This will be part of the round robin parlay as well. Utah and LA. We did see overtime in Utah just 6 days ago on that Sunday night game, 4-3 Utah. It's been an over machine this series, 4 straight overs. That's why we like over here. 3 straight overs for Utah actually as well coming into this game here tonight. The draw too. Another thing with Utah, 3 of their last 10 have gone past regulation, and the Kings 5 of their last 10. Have gone past regulation as well. So, this will be part of the draw round robin parlay for sure. And we'll put that together right before we do the bargain bin segment. As far as goal props here, Utah and LA, Lawson Krause, I mean, it's a broken record, but yeah, we're going to keep taking him as long as he's on the top line. Gunther's obviously been good lately. Panarin heating up for the Kings. Trevor Moore scored last game for the Kings as well. Byfield's the one to rock with right now. He has scored in 3 straight games for the LA Kings, looking to make it a 4th straight game with a goal entering tonight. So, like I said, we know he's got this in him, Quinton Byfield. But the problem is we don't always see it on a consistent basis. But that's worth a shot. Laferriere maybe on that second line as well might be worth a look. All right, down to 2 games left for this huge Saturday slate. We've got Vancouver, Calgary next. The best part about this Vancouver-Calgary game may not be the game itself. It may be the fact that the after-hours guest on Hockey Night in Canada tonight is the most entertaining listen in a post-game press conference. Devin Cooley is going to be the guest tonight on After Hours. He'll give you a great after-hours interview. Not good, great. If you've listened to him at all this year, the California native, Devin Cooley, will be on After Hours with Scott Oak here tonight in the late night hours after this game ends on Hockey Night in Canada. But Calgary minus 160, home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. As far as goaltenders are concerned, we've got, let me just double check here. I've lost my place here. But I would think because of what we've seen from Ryan Huska and the fact that he's had a habit of kind of going back and forth between Cooley and Dustin Wolf, that it's going to be a Dustin Wolf night. Yes, it is. Yep. Hungry like the wolf. Yep, Dustin Wolf in net for Calgary. Kevin Lankinen projected here for Vancouver. That's not confirmed yet. I think I've committed at the last little bit. I mean, we did cash a ticket with Los Angeles. Team total over 3.5. Last game that Vancouver played. And even I was a little bit lukewarm about taking it. I think I've resigned myself to just, you know what? The price is reasonable. Bet the opponent team total over against Vancouver each time. Now, the question is with this Calgary team, which can be a little flighty offensively, can you trust them to score 4 goals? They did score 4 in back-to-back against the Florida teams on this homestand, but they only scored 3 against LA in a shootout win and 2 in the overtime loss against Anaheim in their last game. So we'll see how that plays out. But I'm gonna take a shot they can get me 4 goals tonight because Vancouver has just made it a regularity. It's a habit. It's going out of style for Vancouver, giving up 4 goals right now to the other team. So the price is good enough to me. Plus 106 for Calgary. A team total over 3.5. That's what I took here in this one. Alex, what do you think here? Canucks, Flames.
This is a pass for me. I'm not betting bad teams late in the season, so it's a pass.
I get it. I totally understand that thought process. Yeah. And, but like I said, Vancouver's been given up. LA got 4. I think Calgary on home ice, off a loss too. And Calgary's played pretty good effort on home ice during this homestand as well. That I'm thinking the Flames can get 4 goals for me here tonight. Blake Coleman, Matvei Gridin, both scored against Anaheim last game. I think I'd maybe look toward them as far as goal props for the Flames tonight in this game. Sharon Govich and Olofsson on the second line might be worth consideration as well. They've had certainly their chances, their looks of late. The only one I'd really like here for Vancouver is maybe Rossi, but Drew O'Connor's the one that stands out. Drew O'Connor's actually been chipping in a bit, playing with Kane and with Elias Pettersson on the top line. So that would be the goal prop of choice for me, O'Connor for Vancouver. All right, we've reached our final game for this Saturday NHL slate. Washington Capitals, Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas minus 150 home favorites, 6 the total. So let me just make sure. Come on. Sorry, if you're listening to the podcast, my apologies. We're having trouble getting there. We go. Finally, it clicked for me. There we go to get the display up there. Vegas minus 150, 6 the total. So Vegas laying minus 150 right now. Give me Washington plus 130. It's really that simple. Washington Capitals plus 130. That's all the analysis you need. This Vegas team just finds a way to not score, not get a save when they need one, not get a timely, take a bad penalty at a bad time, that kind of thing. And like I said, it's just minus 150, and Logan Thompson's in net probably for the Caps, you would think, who's not only playing better than any stiff Vegas has in net right now, and they're playing like stiffs, Hill and Schmid, but Thompson with the axe to grind against his former team, the Vegas Golden Knights, 100%. Yeah, this is a live dog. Vegas is not playing with the form right now of a minus 150 favorite anyway. So, Washington plus 130. Yeah, slam dunk choice for me. Alex, what do you think here? Capitals, Golden Knights.
This one had kind of been a pass for me because I've got a lot in action already. But yeah, I would more than likely end up leaning toward grabbing some Capitals at this plus price. So this is one where check the Patreon and I'll have it official by then.
I mean, my goodness. I mean, if Vegas loses this in regulation, which is very, very possible, because I think Washington's going to play well. Thompson's going to want to beat him here after they dealt him away. Like I said, we have gotten to the point now with these extended struggles of the Golden Knights that they could fall right out of the playoffs. It could happen. Like I said, there's just their game is so disjointed right now. Their defensive breakdowns are obvious. Like they're just not playing with that great structure that Bruce Cassidy wants. They're not scoring enough consistently. They had scored one goal or less in 4 of their last 6 games. I know Washington, it looked like they were, kind of floundering a bit there, losing to Colorado and that St. Louis loss. But to respond the way they did against Utah, they've owned Vegas, believe it or not, 4 of the last 5 meetings. Washington has been victorious over Vegas, including earlier this year, 3-2. Capitals win over the Golden Knights. So, definitely Thompson 3-0 against Vegas. There you go. Jonathan confirming. And I know he was in net for that win earlier this year in Washington that the Capitals got against and I remember it was on Washington in that game, and I'm on him again here tonight. As far as goal props are concerned for Caps and Golden Knights, really the Barbashev's the only one I would look at for Vegas. He scored last game for them, and he is still on the top line. Close shave Barbashev. For Washington, I'm going to take a shot with this guy. He's back in the lineup again. He's got some skill, got some talent. He's had some opportunity previously with this team in the NHL. Ivan Miroshnichenko for the Washington Capitals. He scored last game. I'll take a shot that maybe he finds the back of the net here tonight for the Capitals in this one. All right, there you have it. Saturday slate, all 15 games. Thanks for joining us. So much fun to break down that card. It really was. Over 400 live viewers. Hit the like button. WizardSportsPicks.com. Check it out. Again, we've got college basketball Elite 8 action this weekend, NHL and NBA daily, MLB season underway. Get on board. WizardSportsPicks.com, daily premium picks, as well as long-term subscriptions available. And, of course, Patreon.com/Ice Guys, $10 per month. Goalie charts, totals charts, daily betting cards, sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. We'll get that card posted before 3:30 p.m. Eastern when the Anaheim-Edmonton game starts. So make sure you check it out. And again, we'll have, and I've got, of course, 2 bargain bins coming up, which we'll announce. So check it out. And again, 4 Patreon exclusive live betcasts are coming your way in the month of April. We got 2 late in the regular season at the early part of April, and then 2 more Patreon exclusive live betcasts late April in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So 4 Patreon exclusive live betcasts in April, and that's in addition to the free-for-all betcast that we'll also have in April as well. So it's going to be, like I said, we're more betcast than you can fucking shake a stick at, and looking forward to all of them in the month of April. So again, get on board. $10 per month. It's one of the better investments you'll make. Again, your membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So get on board and we're almost at 400. We're still almost there at 400 Patreon members currently subscribed. So help us get there. Just $10 per month. Patreon.com/IceGuys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You got 2 days left to save 20% off all items in the store. Just hit the redeem button at the home page. Add your items to your cart, and 20% will be taken at checkout. So it's a great time to grab a hoodie, a cap, a t-shirt, a mug, maybe a couple items, and save 20% off the next 2 days. That's at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
All right, great stuff. It is time for, actually, before we get to bargain bin special of the night, I just remembered we're going to do a little something cool here before we get to that, and that's we're going to tabulate right live on the air. And if you're listening in podcast to the podcast, you'll hear it as well. We're going to see if we can tabulate this draw round robin parlay for you right here, right now. Like I said, it's going to be there's a bunch of games that we've got interested in as far as the draw. So I'm just going to use Bet365 just so we can do this very quickly here. All right. Dallas, Pittsburgh is going to be part of it. Minnesota, Boston is going to be part of it. Seattle, Buffalo is going to be part of it. Montreal, Nashville is going to be part of it. What else here? Philly, Detroit is going to be part of it. Utah, LA is also going to be part of it. So that's 6. That's like a 470 to 1 if you were to just put it in a straight 6-game parlay. But we're going to do the round robin. So it's 6, and it's going to be basically sets of 2-game draw parlays in the round robin. And that's what we've got. So there you go. Just to repeat the 6 games here as I pull it up here. Dallas, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Boston, Seattle, Buffalo, Montreal, Nashville, Philadelphia, Detroit, Utah, LA. There you have it with the 6-game draw round robin. And let's see if we can get some profit out of it for this Saturday. All right, bargain bin special of the night. We've certainly been getting some profit out of this segment throughout the course of the season and our lifetime. And Alex B. Smith with the 2-0 bargain bin special of the night sweep last night. Nick Lardis for Chicago. And, of course, Sir Patrick Kane for Detroit late in that game against Buffalo. Alex, how are you adding it to it today with the bargain bin special of the night?
Well, I'm going like you with a one daytime and one nighttime one. So we'll start with that earlier game, Columbus and San Jose. You brought it up, and it flashback. It instantly came through. With oh yeah, I had Alex Winberg, anytime goal for San Jose. You can get him, like I said, plus 500 at DraftKings. That's a great price. We've seen him score already this season against his old team in CBJ. So Alex Winberg will be the first bargain bin special of the night. The second one, we go to that Utah-LA game. Usually we look for guys who are going up in the lineup. I'm looking for a guy who's actually moving down in the lineup because of a placement in there. That's JJ Peterka. He's going to be on the third line, but at plus 360, I think he's still alive to get a goal here for the Utah Mammoth. So that'll be my second bargain bin special. JJ Peterka, the Utah Mammoth, anytime goal plus 360.
Great stuff. All right. My bargain bin specials, I got 2. Granlund is not one of them, but I like Hal's look there, plus 3. I am on Granlund. Got to be right now. He's red hot for Anaheim. But my 2 bargain bin specials, first one, we got a day game and a night game for bargain bin specials. The day game is New Jersey, Carolina. Give me the red hot He's streaky as hell, and he's got it rolling right now for the Devils. Jesper Bratt, New Jersey, plus 320. He's been on a roll for the Devils. He's a big part of him and Jack Hughes, man. They've got it going, and that's why they're scoring goals right now, both of them. 5 straight games with a goal for Jesper Bratt. To be able to get someone on a 5-game goal streak at plus 320 cannot be passed up. Jesper Bratt, New Jersey, plus 320 for my first bargain bin special of the night. My second bargain bin special of the night, I already mentioned a couple flyers, Couturier, Alex Bump, that I like for goal props. But the one I'm going with for bargain bin special, it's another flyer. And again, they could be facing a Cam Talbot or a guy that called up from Grand Rapids there tonight, not John Gibson. It's the red-hot Noah Cates. Noah Cates has really started to get it going for the Philadelphia Flyers. Plus 420 for Noah Cates for the Philadelphia Flyers. So there you go. 2 bargain bins. Jesper Bratt, New Jersey, plus 320. Noah Cates, Philadelphia, plus 420 for my 2 bargain bin specials for this Saturday. All right, best bets. We both had the same best bet on Friday. Blackhawks, Rangers over. We'll see if we can add to it. Alex, what do you got for best bet?
Yeah, give me that Utah and LA, that first period over, minus $1.20. Bet that pregame. No reason to have to wait for that one. I like goals early in that, and we've seen Utah on a nice little run with the first period over. So Mammoth Kings, first period over would be my best bet for tonight.
I'm going to that last game. I really like Thompson owns Vegas. He's 3-0. He's always going to want to beat their ass, and they just cannot. They're not playing to the form of a minus 150 favorite. Maybe tonight they win, but the value's with Washington. They haven't given up on the playoffs yet. Washington Capitals, plus 130, best bet for my Saturday best bet for this slate. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Great Saturday card. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch the rest of these early games. We got tons of afternoon games later on. Looking forward to the rest of the slate for sure. Thanks for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we are back Sunday, noon Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.